up over there because he's sick.
That's right. Yeah, I know, dude. You know, and I thank you for coming out today, making yourself available, even though you.
I told him that we should get a microphone on him.
Yeah.
So we can ask him big questions and be like, "Hey, Big D, Google that shit."
Doesn't Joe Rogan have a
he's got a
dude?
Jamie. He's got a Jamie. There's a Jamie. There's an Ed McMahon. There's always like that extra person.
Yeah, dude.
Well, you're more like the Ed McMahon. You're not like a Jamie. A Jamie is just somebody who just does like a Mr. Snurdly. He's the guy that does all the background research and make sure that the show runs smoothly.
Yeah, okay.
You know, not like, yeah.
Q. The information guy, IT, whatever. I get it.
Yeah.
No, that's what he should be, though. But we need to get him more into the show.
Right.
You know?
Maybe. I don't know if too many people want to hear the sound guy's opinion of what's going on.
You know what? I've been caring too much about what people think. And when we first started, we said, we don't give a fuck.
We don't give a fuck.
And I still don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah,
so I want to be still open.
Yeah, so this week I went for that interview at the cemetery. That my aunt decided.
There's nothing wrong with that job, dude.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just I know the way that I am, and I wouldn't have been happy there.
Do you think you would have been creeped out?
No, I wouldn't. No, I would have been creeped out because it's
dead people.
The land is. Do you remember Cowardly the dog?
I love that show.
So it's like 13 acres of just tumbleweeds. There's like 3 buildings. The main building doesn't have plumbing. They didn't have heat when I was there.
Ooh.
So it's kind of awkward being able to like see like what they were doing. I was like, oh, there's plenty of potential there. But it's do you know where Top Golf is off of I-25?
I do. Yes.
So it's right across the street from there.
Okay.
So it's next to the highway.
That's a little plug for those of you here in the Denver metro area.
If you're ready to go to the grave, yeah. I mean, people are just
if you want to go work at a cemetery,
dying to get in. They basically need somebody that's more grounds maintenance that can grow grass.
Okay, and you suck at that.
And I suck at that. You know, I can paint, but it's not what I want to do. You know, there's like the people aspect. I'm fine talking to people. It's not going to be the job for me.
Okay.
I already knew before I even went there that but I was willing to hear them out because I want to know what somebody's willing to pay to
sit around a cemetery all day.
Yeah, well, it would have been
because I would honestly think that you would need to pay me just a little bit more to do that. Now, here's the thing: I'm not tripping about it, but the stigma on it, I'm like. You're throwing brother a little bit extra money, right?
A little. You would think in this day and age, that they would be paying a little bit better.
How much are they offering?
It was minimum wage.
For real?
Plus commission.
For real? Yeah. As many people that would be terrified of working at a job like that.
Yeah.
You should get fear tax alone.
Just a little bit more. Just grease the wheels a little bit more.
Yeah, fuck them.
But you know what? Whatever.
And see, that's why these jobs are not getting new people because it's just not paying enough money.
The right person for the right job, there's somebody out there. And so I went home and I took a shower. Big D went to his jam session, and I had to go get something out of my car. And now this is the story that I told you about, but there's more to it.
Oh, okay.
So I injured myself Thursday night. I knocked the wind out of my chest. I'm getting I was gonna get something out of the car. I'm wearing my husband's pajamas, which are like at least 4 inches too long for me. So you know the little.
I'm sorry, I hate that. Go on.
So I'm wearing my husband's pajamas, and I go out of the house, and I shut the door behind me, and the door catches the bottom part of my pajamas.
Oh shit.
And I slip and I fall straight on my face. I got a bruise on this arm, bruise on this arm.
Oh.
My phone went one way. I didn't catch my face, well, because I got big boobs. You know, everything just kind of sticks out in a way.
Did you bounce off the ground? Boing.
No. I went straight down. I hit so hard that I knocked the wind out of my chest. And I was laying there for about 3 minutes.
Trying to think about breathing, huh?
I couldn't cry because I couldn't breathe.
I know you couldn't.
But that wasn't the worst part of it.
Huh.
The worst part of it is that when the door caught the pajamas, it pulled the pajamas off of my lower half.
Oh, shit.
So I am laying 3 minutes face down on hard concrete with my ass hanging out. Good thing I don't have fucking neighbors. And then I had to get up basically butt naked.
That's
while
great.
I'm wearing a t-shirt.
That's fucking great.
But I have to
ass to the wind.
Ass to the wind. I had to get up and I had to go back in the house, grab the pajamas, put them back on, and then go back out to the car.
That's fucking hilarious.
Because I was like, oh my gosh, this is the worst. And then I'm like,
and
I can't breathe.
There are cameras everywhere. Ooh, you were lucky.
Yeah, there's no cameras on my.
Thankfully not.
God, I must have looked like ridiculous, but it was like sort of dusky. So I don't, unless you were like looking at me, you wouldn't have known.
Well, folks, I'm telling you, you need to look for Pixie on YouTube somewhere. I'm sure there's a TikTok somewhere of her busting her ass, because that's fucking hilarious.
I should be wearing a helmet sometime.
Yeah.
When I do stupid shit like that. It happens all of the time.
Fucking great story, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Pixie.
And I'm Mr. J.
And welcome to Next on Stage 1.
Denver's best adult nightlife podcast from the stripper's perspective.
Oh, yeah.
That's a mouthful.
We do all kinds of stuff. We tell all kinds of stories. We kind of get in back and forth. And sometimes now that we've had 60 episodes, and we...
This is 60? This is 60?
No, this is 61.
Oh, shit.
And we just hit 10K downloads. So
we should have.
We did.
No, we didn't. Are we there now? Right now.
As soon as this episode gets released, we're there.
Right now. I went ka-ching right now.
Past us.
You are our 10,000th visitor.
Yeah.
Hi.
So, this is kind of a big thing for us.
Yeah.
And we wanted to roll into and talk about, terminology. We've been talking about it for episode after episode because there's a lot of misinformation sometimes. People hear certain things and they don't quite know what it means.
Oh, no, the normies have no idea. And they group everything in one lump area and just say, this is it. No, sex work is a huge spectrum.
Huge. And we've talked about different things under the umbrella, but there's a lot of stuff that we haven't got to.
Yes.
So we were talking, and you told me that you mislabeled last week's episode.
Yes. Now, last week's episode, I had a hard time figuring out.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure out how to, because there's always a little bit of flair to our episodes. So I named it The Guy on the Street, and that's where I was. I finally hit it and said, yeah, that's what it is, but that's not what I really meant. I actually meant was the man on the street, which is kind of a callback to old terminology where they would say that's interviewing the common man. We're going out there to the streets to meet the common guy and see what he thinks. So I should have called it the man on the street instead of the guy on the street, but I guess I was thinking about the previous episode, Guy's Doll, so I don't know where my head is.
So if it gets changed, it's because Jay.
Yes. So it's the man on the street. So, that made me think about how important language is, and being able to communicate what you really want people to get using the words and phrases that we commonly use. So I'm not sure if people got the guy on the street, but the man on the street makes more sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let's explain a little bit more. That way we can be a lot more honest, and maybe they'll have a better understanding of when we say this is what occurred.
Right.
By giving them a little bit more of an explanation of how our terminology is.
What's one term or thing that you think people misjudge all of the time? Okay.
So my problem with this show always has been that you consider sex work to be sex work. And sometimes I beg to differ.
Sometimes we just have different
opinions. We disagree with it.
And that's why we talk, and that's why we kind of bring to each other why we think that way.
Right. And I don't think we've figured out how to categorize it yet. I think that's our biggest problem.
I think it's still evolving. I think there's just so many things.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's an ever evolving kind of thing. Just because of different people's perspectives.
Okay.
Just like you think certain things don't belong under the sex work umbrella, even though they're getting paid for that service.
Okay.
I think it really is. It's just terminology.
Okay, then let's play with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, there are, from our perspective, 2, maybe 3 different types of strippers.
Right.
Okay. Actually, maybe even 4. Mm-hmm. You've got your burlesque dancer.
Yep. Which doesn't get touched by anybody.
No.
Nope. She is just.
And quite honestly, she might be completely nude, but you never see it if she's skilled.
Right.
She'll have fans and balloons in front of her, and she'll do a show, but you'll never really get to see her completely naked, which is fucking awesome.
Right. Because it's an art craft, and she is up on stage, and it's totally different than your everyday common stripper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know, then you've got your stripper.
Right.
You know, which is a performer on stages where they perform, or we perform, in various stages of undress, ranging from topless to
full nude.
Full nude, performing to the sound of music around us.
Right. Right.
Pulsating and gyrating. See what I'm saying?
I do.
Okay.
I do. Yeah.
All right. So that's another level right there. But there's a branch off of that, because you've got strippers that are private party entertainers, and you've got strippers that are club entertainers, and you've got strippers that are one-on-one entertainers, and we haven't talked about that yet.
We also have strippers that are cam girl strippers, because they don't get touched either, but they're still doing the striptease for the money.
Right.
So they're still there. It's just a different type of format.
You've got your OnlyFans type girls. I still don't consider them strippers. I still don't consider that sex
I don't
work.
consider all of them strippers.
Yeah.
Not all of those girls on Fans Only are strippers. Some of them are some of them are amateurs, some of them are porn stars, some of them are amateur porn stars, some of them are just hot yoga. You know, there's a lot of different things that go on in the Fans Only. Some of them are just BDSM, some of them are foot fetishes. There's a lot of different things that go under that.
Right.
But they're still getting paid for the level of nudity.
So I guess if I were to categorize anything, I would try to fit it in the parameters of things softcore going on up to hardcore. You know, because we've also got what you would consider in this industry, even porn stars would be a branch off of the adult industry. You see what I'm saying? You know,
I consider them in the adult industry.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so you've got so many different levels and so many different types of erotica, but each one of these pieces of erotica have different terms to identify, and each one of these different industries have different ways of speaking to each other and obtaining certain services.
Especially when you go from striptease to escorts. That's a totally different realm in there, because
but they have a lot of similarities too.
Most strippers are not escorts.
Right.
And
I agree.
And I know a lot of escorts that have been strippers.
So you see how they overlap?
They do overlap. There's a lot of overlapping that goes on in each industry, you know, and it's interesting to see, like, when somebody says, "Hey, that's striptease." Hey, or twerking. Twerking is
that's striptease.
It's striptease. It's totally an adult type of dance that now unmentionable. You know, I think of it as an adult art form. It's not art.
Right.
But it's for adults. It's a type of dancing. And then when I see children doing it, I definitely don't like that.
Right. It's a softcore type of striptease.
It's that's the base level, and then it just goes up from there.
Right, right. So we each know where it can lead. We know that the boundaries can blur, okay? And the differences in the terminology that the people that are in the industry and the people that cater to the industry we use certain terminology in order to speak to each other without the common man kind of understanding what is being said. You know, because like we just kind of talked about, there's softcore, there's hardcore. How do you differentiate between what's hardcore and what's softcore, because it seems so blurred?
Well, hardcore is definitely penetration.
Yeah, I agree with you, but sometimes the terminology is so blurred.
Right. There's, like
that
you said,
can go either way.
It's overlapping.
Yeah.
So what we were going to do is we were going to go on to one of the seedier web pages.
We'll take a look at that. Yeah, totally.
And we're gonna kind of go through some of these posts that these ladies put up, and we're going to kind of unwrap some of this lingo. So
now,
you had the Nouveau massage oil. It wasn't oil.
Why do you keep calling it Nouveau massage? No.
What do you call
it? It's Nuru. Nuru massage. Man, you and Big D really need to look that shit up, okay? I'm telling you, that's on point. But that right
there, the Nuru massage is completely different than a regular massage.
But here's the thing. The girls that are in the industry, once again, in the range of things that we do, you know, strippers also do one-on-one striptease, and that has branch-offs too.
It does.
Which can include body rubs. The body rub girls offer Nuru massage.
Right.
As part of their services.
Right.
So
it's got to be uncoded. We can't give away all of the secrets, but we're gonna say some.
See how fucked up this is?
It's kind of like when you used to do AOL and it was like age, sex, location, ASL, and a lot of people you had to uncode those things, like W for W, woman for woman, man for man. You know, woman for female, or woman for male. There were so many different codings and so many different things that you had to look around as you were trying to navigate these sites. Not only sites, but Westward is a magazine that we have here.
If you're into reading.
Yep. And if you were looking for, let's say you were having a private party come to your house, you wanted to make sure you're bringing the strippers, not the escorts.
Right.
So
how do you differentiate between the two?
You ask questions.
Right.
You ask questions, you talk to people, you find a nice company that people know and trust. Word of mouth is huge in the industry. So a lot of our clientele were people that have come to us before. We had a lot of things like that. We were able to answer a lot of questions. And we also did get a lot of creepy guys.
Yeah, we'll come to that. Okay. That being said, as I continue into this, talking about this, where I would like to start is in the striptease arena. Mm-hmm. Okay, I want to stay there. Then, and here's the thing: it's softcore,
right?
But it can branch off into hardcore.
I don't even think it's softcore. I think it's a level below softcore, because you're not touching anybody
depending on the striptease you're doing.
If you're in the club, it's less than softcore. You're just a thought.
Well,
you're just dancing.
Define that then. A club stripper. Define that.
So for me, a club stripper is somebody who is going to entertain you through music, speech. Mm-hmm. They're going to it's going to be a time versus money equation.
Okay.
So it's strictly they're there to make money by dancing. Sometimes they'll even do lap dances. It's still really not even softcore, because it's just grinding and there's no penetration and there's no you're not allowed to grab upon a stripper's boobs unless she lets you.
Okay.
And you're not allowed to,
depending on the club that you're at.
Depending on the club.
Pixie, because every state.
And every dancer is different. Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
but a club dancer is usually a dancer that works in a place that already has a set of established rules. Mm-hmm. It's a place where the customers come to you for specific services, mm-hmm. and there are rules there at that club.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So that can range from topless to nude.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay? Terminology is pretty simple there. Okay.
Yep.
Sets are the time that you're up on stage.
Yep.
You know, a 3-song set would be 3 songs that you're up on stage.
Yep.
We talked about Texas rotation or earlier episodes, like season 1. So take a look back there for that kind of shit. T-bars. We talked about dance bags.
different types of clothing, outfits, stuff that dancers carry that people don't necessarily know. We talked about customers. What's a mark?
Right. Yes.
What's
What's
a whale?
Right.
So, what would you consider? I don't know if too many people of you guys heard us speak about a mark before. A mark is a customer that does not know that he is being fleeced. That is the simple.
Right. That's the simple thing.
That's the simple thing about it. So when we
let them talk about it. We let them just.
Yes. They think they have the one-up game on the entertainer.
No.
And it could be male or female that is getting fleeced. And usually these are the bright-eyed, bushy-tailed 18-year-old or somebody who's never been in a strip club.
They're allowed in the club, but they're allowed in the club basically really pretty much for their money. You know, see what I'm saying? So the terminology.
Yeah.
And every industry's got different terminology.
Oh, yeah. There's all kinds of people. Even if you're just in sales, there is going to be a mark in sales every single time. Somebody that's going to spend a lot of money.
Right.
And you could sell them ice water to a penguin, you know, that kind of thing. And that's it. A mark isn't necessarily bad, but it can be if you're getting fleeced so often that it's causing money troubles at home, or you know, you're spiraling out of control where you're there all of the time and you're not budgeting your money. So we definitely know what happens there.
Now, see how we were talking right now? You were still able to keep up with that. Now, see, this is low-grade, stripperish kind of stuff. We talk like you do. You get it. You're rolling along with the conversation. That's what the normies can keep up with.
Right.
Other strippers have other types of conversations because we were just talking about the club entertainer. How would you describe the private party entertainer, the private party stripper? Not an escort. So the things overlap as well.
A stripper is not going to engage in sexual activity.
Okay.
A private party stripper, she's going to be more one-on-one, more up close and in your face. It's a good time. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of like,
and she's really not limited by the same rules that would be in a home base somewhere.
She probably has a doorman or somebody with her that's playing the music, collecting money for her. Because when a dancer is a private party dancer, she's more concerned of entertaining the crowd than she is about what's going on in the background.
Right.
It's really more of, okay, I'm going to be here. I'm going to entertain you and your friends for the set amount of time. She has a set. She has set music. She has a time frame. Everything is choreographed in a way that moves the time along.
Right.
Nothing is never just haphazardly thrown into a
private party.
Yeah.
No. It takes a lot of work.
So,
but and the terminology that's used in the private party atmosphere incorporates a lot of like party planning services type terminology. Talking about being on time and preparing for certain parties and mapping out,
making sure we know who the point of contact is.
That's good. Right. Who's paying for the party and who's the birthday boy or bachelor?
A point of contact is something that we as dancers or the company has to call ahead of time to make sure that everything is in line.
Right.
If the point of contact needs money, because that's how we get paid, we need to know ahead of time. If the point of contact needs whipped cream, we need to have that ahead of time because we're always planning. We ask them certain questions like, do you have a music player? We used to carry CDs, guys.
And a big boom
box
too,
because you never knew if somebody had those things available.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if it's male or female. Male entertainers have a little bit different setup, but it's still the same.
Right.
It's still the same.
Your structure is still the same.
You come in, you talk to the point of contact, you make sure you get the money, you make sure you go and change into your outfit because you're not. Some of us, we got to roll in as looking like a
And you would set that
strippers.
up ahead.
Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes we decided that we would get dressed up as police officers because that was requested.
A lot more discretion is paid attention to it when it comes to private parties, because you've got to worry about the outside people wondering what's going on upstairs. So the terminology is a lot different. It's a party planning concierge type thing. Your event is being planned out. It's being mapped out. So you take the
so
normie.
Much fun.
There was so much
fun. Yeah, it's like taking a Friday night and putting it into a 1 hour block party.
And the terminology doesn't really change. You can still hold on to the conversation. The bouncer and the girl may have code words company-wise to make, to let each other know that something's off, that type thing. But that's not something the normie's going to know.
Yeah, it really doesn't, for people who have never been in the business, it's not really something you're going to need to know. You're not going to need to know things like that's a, well, I don't really want to give myself away, but that's a narc.
Yeah, oh, good, right.
Because, that's somebody
you
that's
get
going to...
narc parties, dude. Yeah, you totally do.
Sometimes that happens. Sometimes...
man,
the
strippers
local...
right now in the private party game are like, narc parties, yeah.
Sometimes...
Those suck.
Sometimes there's a lot of things that happen to... And it's kind of fucked up. They're trying to... make sure that the girls are on the up and up. Yeah. And they'll throw parties, which,
Or sting operations.
Oh,
yeah, that's pretty good.
And it's...
Normies don't know about stings.
It's never
Sometimes
been something that we've...
stung all the time.
It's never been something that we've had bad issues with.
When we as a company,
yes.
Us?
Yeah.
No, but it took us a long time to get there. We were stung even before you came on board. We established ourselves in Denver where they're like, we're tired of spending money on them. We can't catch them doing anything.
We also had rules that helped us keep in place. Yeah. Just like if we were part of the club.
That's how I felt. Hey, if you're going to work here, this is how we do it. Why we do that this way is so none of us go to jail. Okay?
That's right.
So do it this way, and yes, all the girls will snitch on you.
Right.
You know, it keeps it honest. You snitch, she snitch, I snitch, just snitch. Okay.
Well, it was really about keeping us clean and we had a really long run. Yeah. The company had rave reviews. We had like 5-star reviews from people that had been customers for years.
Dude, they knew us in England.
Yeah, it was great,
Anyway.
But then you get
now we've got
like
another type
escort.
of stripper. No, well, before we get to escorts.
No, escort strippers. Because these are girls that moonlighted.
But they're levels of escort strippers. And the thing is, I don't even want to say escorts and strippers should even share the same...
They overlap,
There are strippers that moonlight as escorts. Fuck, there are escorts that moonlight as strippers.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that blurs together. I'm not saying all the girls, I'm not saying all the guys sell the body, because we've talked about this in the past. We're two entertainers that enjoy the performance and the money that came with it. I'm not trying to
we made plenty of money without having to go that extra mile.
I don't have to sell it to make money, but if the option's available and I'm not doing anything and the money's really, really good,
Lord.
I may or may not. You know what I mean?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. But you see, there was a difference. There was a huge difference. Fuck, the morality.
The morality.
Thing,
it does.
All right.
And we all know that I am a vanilla stripper.
Yeah.
I was strictly there for the business. I was there to make money. I was there to entertain. I was there to keep people on track.
But dude.
But then I wanted to go home.
Yeah, but we were one of the cleaner of one of the companies in town. And that's not I'm a stripper. And the people that I work with were strippers, and we want to keep it strip based. So that's where we stayed. But the competition there. And I'm not gonna say all the competition. See, because I'm not the. People know me, and I'm not trying to piss anybody off. But some companies or some people offered services that were a little bit more than we, as a stripper, would be crossing the boundary. Right. Okay, and that's what I mean about the difference between an escort and a stripper. Because there are strippers that just solely strip. Okay, there are escorts that just solely escort. Okay, which I don't really include as being an entertainer because they escort you to a function, and after the function is over, they're go done. Home with their paycheck. You know what I mean? But escort has become a very polite way of saying hooker. Okay, because hooker's just fucking mean. You know, and she's a hooker. Ooh, she's an escort. Ooh, she's a. And, you know what I mean? Dignified.
Well, that right there. There's different levels.
Right.
There's hookers. There's escorts. There's streetwalkers, which are way worse than hookers. And and we have those here in Colorado.
We had them for a while.
We did. There's a main street that runs through Denver.
They cleaned it up though.
You can still go there.
It was so much worse in the 90s. We used to drive down there to college, what we called College Row, okay, because it was the area where they had the big brownstones or the big houses that they converted into dormitories for the college kids. The women that had bulges in their dresses were out there on the streets, and back then it was Colfax was horrible. Yeah, it was a horrible place. You can walk down there at night. They've cleaned it up since then, though.
Yeah, it's still.
I'm deviating. I'm sorry.
It's still pretty bad, but those are the different types of terminology that when people talk about different things, you have to remember that not everybody under the sex work umbrella is the same. Right. There's just so many different levels to it that it just spans far and wide, and sometimes we just need to be able to talk about it and say, no, that's not like the Hooters girls. They're cute. But
it still falls within. But it's still under the umbrella.
Right. Yeah, but they're not strippers.
No. But they do double dip as strippers.
They do. Yeah, and they're stimulating the mind, and they're entertaining people, and they're wearing a very
identifiable brand,
minimal outfit.
Oh, okay, all right.
You know,
all right. I went the way other way with that, but
Right.
I get it.
Right. So we know who they are. Like Twin Peaks. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's a cute girl in an outfit.
We know what they're selling. Right.
Right. And so when we talk about these kind of things, it's kind of nice to be able to inform our listeners what's going on, because a lot of these people, there's a couple of them that have never been into a strip club before.
Nope.
No, not at all.
And one day we're going to do an episode, stripper etiquette. I want to walk through a visit to a strip club. If you were the first person, if you've never been to one before, how do you act? We'll come back to that.
We should do the VR with the headset.
Dude,
and get Brian from Denver Dolls.
That would be fun. All right, so check it out when it comes to terminology. So we're still on strippers. We stepped away from private parties. We stepped into escort/strippers. Let's not go too much escort yet. Let's say we're strippers. We'll stay with strippers, but they're not private party girls.
No.
They're not club entertainers, or they might be double dipping into either of those services. What she is either a girl that is an independent, which means she's working for herself, or she's working for an agency. And the agency has quote unquote models or lingerie models or
swimsuit some of those, like
when might just be simply striptease.
Like when you worked for the swimsuit
yes,
place,
the swimsuit modeling place, allegedly, yes.
Yeah. They had models,
right?
You know.
So if she's working in a place as one of those quote-unquote dancers, they usually have rules. They usually have safeguards. They either A, not get caught in what they're doing, or B, they have safeguards if they are legit to make sure those girls aren't stepping outside of those boundaries. You know, but if she is working for either an agency or she's independent, she's a little bit more apt to either lean a little bit too far over the striptease, over striptease when you're visiting people or specifically one person.
Yep, those are called one-on-ones.
Right, one-on-ones.
And which we haven't talked about them. We've talked about...
We've hinted at them.
Right, we've touched on it. We've talked about it with like the body rubs. Now a one-on-one...
BDSM?
Yeah, well, a one-on-one, for those of you that don't know, it's you and an entertainer. Now, this could be a male entertainer. This could be a female entertainer. This could be two entertainers and one customer. So it's a one-on-one. It's a very personal experience.
I used to describe it as a lap dance that you would have in a club, except the club's not there.
Yeah, it's the lap dance part of the strip club.
Right.
Right. So there's still, a dancer in her costume. She's still collecting money from the point of contact, and she's going to be there for a set amount of time, which is usually an hour.
30 minutes to an hour. Yeah.
Yep. Depending on the time bracket, you charge either 30 minutes or an hour, and you get your money up front.
Yep.
And then you dance for them.
Yeah.
And most of the time, it's just strictly a dance.
And here's the thing.
It's just like a sexy lap dance.
Yep, a very sexy lap dance, Yep. And here's the thing that's funny about it is half the time it's not even, they want to see the lap dance, they want to experience the sexuality of the moment, but most of the time these customers will need somebody to talk to for a little while. Right. So a one-on-one experience is basically your private party services offered to one person at one time with either one, two, or three girls, depending on what you're working with.
Yeah, depending on how much money you want to spend for an hour.
Right.
And depending on that sometimes some guys like to go more than 1 hour. Yeah. Sometimes they want 2 hours.
Yeah.
You can extend your one-on-one if you're having a good time.
Now, it blurs together, and the reason why it blurs is because one-on-ones allows you to do a lot more because you're not restricted by the club rules. And to tell you the honest truth, allegedly, you're not really restricted by governmental rules anyway, because if they don't see you doing it, it's like allegedly. It never really happens. You know what I'm saying? Right. And that allows for so much to happen in a one-on-one experience.
Especially if you are somebody who has a kink fetish and you want to be dressed a certain way, or you want to be talked a certain way.
Maybe that's your kink.
Sometimes role-playing like that in a one-on-one setting, it's a way to get into what you're looking for and be safe.
Right.
Because I did ball busting.
Oh man, do we have to talk?
We don't have to.
No, because I cringe every time we talk about.
I can tell
you enjoyed the shit out of those fuckers.
I can tell the story later. Okay.
All right, save that for another day.
Okay.
No.
I know it's such a good story. And then we can go into stripper pet peeves.
Okay. No, I'm having a good time talking about this. The terminology, is really a fun thing to talk about, to throw around, the things that the normies don't know. We just talked about one-on-one striptease, where you're allowed to do a lot more than you would be able to do in a club, like ball busting
or smack your titties in a guy's face. You can't. You can only do so much in a club.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, because there are legal limits, but in a one-on-one situation, you're still supposed to obey the law. But if nobody's watching you, it's kind of like if mom's not looking, I'm allowed a little bit more to bend certain things. We used to have a customer that called up a long time ago, all the time. And his show was, I don't know, the guy was Houdini or something. He wanted to be tied up. And that was his show. He wanted the young lady to be dropped off. He wanted her to be nude. He would usually book with a specific girl, and her first show would be learning how to tie the knots that he wanted. He would be tied up. They were both in a nude. She would tie him up, and then she would leave him at the end of the show tied up.
Oh my goodness, I would love that. That would have been the perfect show for me because it's interesting, it's quirky, and it's non-sexual.
Yeah.
We're nude, but
that was the experience for him. Now, it's not for me to question what the hell he was into. Right. That was his thing, and he was a regular customer for a good year and a half.
Yeah. We accommodated a lot of people in the one-on-ones because it wasn't sexual, a lot of that stuff. It was just about fulfilling somebody's little niche.
Some people like being peed on.
I didn't do that.
I know. But some people pay for it.
Yeah. And it does come with a premium. It does.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
And a little advance notice as well, too. The girl's got to drink a lot of water.
And one of those, the terminology for that is golden
shower. Right.
Yeah. So did you want to pull up a couple and we
can... You want to look at a couple of ads?
Let's go through a couple of ads.
So, no, this is interesting. Now, and I think this is a good way of maybe explaining to you. And one day we will do an episode on escorts, okay? Because even the pictures and the ads that you look
So what we're doing is we're on one of these back page websites.
Yes.
And we're scrolling through. Some of these might or might not be a stripper. Some of them might be full on. Full service is another term. These are girls that are. Nothing that we've ever done.
No.
So they're girls that are willing to do whatever it is for the price that they're asking.
Right.
So.
But there's a difference too. You know what I mean? When it comes to that.
Yeah, it's definitely not a striptease.
No, it's not.
No,
not at all. But because there's so many allowances when it comes to being able to do certain things in your one-on-one experience, some of these guys kind of take. Ugh, how do I say this to people? Fuck, it's kind of nasty when you really think about it. Some of these guys enjoy the show to the best of their ability physically with themselves.
With
themselves. As long as it doesn't incorporate...
They're self-service is what I like to call them.
Self-service, yes.
I am not going to help you with self-service.
No, you need to look that up, boys and girls, and pump it yourself.
If you get what I'm talking about. We're trying to stay real right there on the line for the YouTube. By the way, you guys should check us out.
Yeah, totally. So, the first...
Sorry.
No, cool. So, the first place I'm going to go is more for the striptease body rubs type.
All right, give us one.
And
I want to know her alleged strip club name, her entertainer name on the page as well. Right. So that way we have somebody to talk about. This is gonna get trashy, guys.
I'll tell you what. I'll look it up in.
Just grab one. Just grab
Colorado.
One. Yeah, just grab one.
All right, Denver. It's not me. It's the damn
app. I know.
It takes a second. All right. Ooh, she's hot.
Okay, so there's a bait right there. So another one is called bait and switch. You will click on a girl's picture, and what shows up at your door is completely different. That is called a bait and switch. Happens all the time. I remember it.
We need to do another episode on terminology. Fuck, there's so much stuff.
So much stuff.
Okay, so I am on a website that is more body rubs than striptease.
Okay.
Striptease can be in here.
That's fine.
It's implied that she will either be nude or semi-nude.
Okay, what do we got?
All right, Sexy Erotic Massage.
Okay.
By Autumn.
So erotic is,
she's naked.
She's going to be naked.
Yeah, and she's going to touch you.
Well, yeah, she's going to rub her boobs probably on your body.
Now, she hasn't implied that she's going to do anything other than that.
Right.
Okay, because she just says
erotic.
The massage
erotic
is going to be erotic.
Yeah.
Okay, but things can happen depending on the girl.
What else does Autumn say?
Hey, babe, look no further. I'm your sexy Ebony you've been waiting for.
All right, hold on. Ebony, there's another one.
Black girl.
Black girl.
Got a big booty.
Does she?
Yeah.
All right, what else does Autumn say?
You've been waiting for, so come unleash and unwind with me so we can have a glass of wine and enjoy each other's touch. Now, we both know there's no glass of wine to be shared in whatever experience that you're having with this young lady.
And it might not even be
There
Autumn.
will be some touching, though.
There's definitely some touching.
There's a phone number here. And here's the thing is that when you look at this, look at the picture.
The picture, it's just her naked, barefoot, like bent over an edge or a counter or something.
But notice it must be a real picture because she doesn't show her face.
She doesn't show her face, but that also allows them to bait and switch.
That usually tells me that it might be her.
It might be her for her anonymity.
Yeah.
You don't really want your picture of your face
for bait and switch
when you're doing erotic massage.
Right.
It can go both ways. You can either get somebody who's going to bait and switch you, or it could be her and she just doesn't want to show her face. Because if that picture got out to family, they could be like, is this you? And you could, with the picture of her ass and her hair, She could be like, that could be anybody.
That could be anybody.
That could be anybody.
Right. I don't show my ass to just anybody.
Yeah.
Okay, independent girl in, I'm not going to say that city. Hotel.
Okay.
Ooh, she's fine as fuck, too.
She's at a hotel?
Yeah, close by here. I wonder if I have any money.
Oh, God.
She's
Come
a
on.
hottie, dude.
Read it. Read it.
I'm Tina, 27 years old, Taiwanese. I'm very happy to date with a nice gentleman. Handsome.
Date. Is she really dating anybody?
Okay, so she's in a body rub form. Okay,
saying that she's dating.
Yeah, saying that she's looking for someone to date.
Right.
Okay, so what does that imply? She wants to date. She wants to fucking date.
She might have
in a body rub.
She probably wants more than just body. It's definitely implied that it's more than just body rubs.
I do in-call.
Okay, so in-call is another thing.
Yeah.
It's another terminology. That's where they come to you.
Yep.
Outcall is where they go. So in-call they come. You go to them. Outcall, they come to you. I totally messed that up.
Oh, yeah, you totally did. I had to think about that for a second.
So,
no, in-call is where they come to a location. Yeah. They come to you.
Yeah.
Out-call is where you go out to them.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Private party girls can use this terminology, too.
Yep.
They usually don't.
Well, they ask that way that they can set things up. So, is this going to be an in-call? And the person would say yes. Or they'd say no, or they'd give you the location. That's how you start. You ask all of these different questions. So you get your point of contact, you get your address, you get the fine details before you just send a girl off into the woods.
Or she leaves on her own off into the woods. People get lost, man.
We were
were just talking about that.
The Google Map generation.
Yeah. Yeah, we come from that. We know about getting
Do you
lost.
have another one?
No, I've got a couple. I'm actually going to continue with this one, though. So she does in-call, okay, hotel only, and no AA, capital letters, AA. Guess what that means?
What does that mean?
Okay, that means no African-American men.
Oh.
Okay. Now, I still don't know why websites haven't been sued behind this yet. Because that's discrimination. It
is. It really is. I mean, well, maybe there's a story behind this.
I don't know.
Maybe
I'd love
she's
to dig into this.
Bad reactions with certain
there
characters.
There are a lot of girls that do this.
Really?
I've seen this. It's kind of I don't know. I don't understand why. Or some girls will even say, no African American men unless you're over the age of blah, blah, blah. Maybe the younger ones are crazy. I don't know.
Well,
I'm an old man at this point.
I mean,
but that's discrimination. You can't just say you can't just offer services and say, hey, black guy, you can't have, if you're selling pussy.
So, in the strip club, this is one of those stories. In the strip club, those weren't my problems. My problems were Hispanic men.
Oh, they like you?
Oh, they loved me. They loved me, but they couldn't speak to me. And they'd call me, "Hey, mamacita," and they really, but they didn't know barriers and boundaries, and they would be very pushy with their $1. And there was one guy who would just $1, and he'd hold up the $1 all of the time.
Right.
And I would try and try to get that $1, and eventually, it wasn't worth the time. And if you did go up to get the $1, he's more likely to slobber all over you.
See, that's the thing that pisses me off. We'll make that our second topic here in just a minute.
Oh,
let me finish this.
Stripper pet peeves.
Yeah. So let me finish this real quick. Her ad, because she is sexy. Look at her.
Oh, she's cute.
Yeah. I'd hit it.
Young.
So, and she's independent too. She's not working with. She's not independent. She's working with somebody. Got trust on it. And quite honestly, the picture's so good.
It's
more
probably
likely not her.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So text me or call me to make an appointment. In call only, which means in call means you go to them
at a hotel.
Right. Okay.
She's only at a hotel. She's only seeing a certain.
From my experience being in the industry. I would never go to depending on the hotel.
That could be a trap.
Yeah, totally could be a sting.
This could be a sting.
Yep.
This could be police officers in that room right next door saying, hey, this is a spicy erotic massage. I'm looking to date. Putting up all the good keywords for somebody who's looking for more than just an erotic massage.
Right. And because the line is so blurred,
fantastic photo.
And hence the terminology.
She's going to line them up and knock them out for the police just to come in and grab you.
Yeah.
Because you read what you wanted to.
Right.
You saw the beautiful girl.
Sometimes it's too good to be true. But here's the thing. Sometimes it's true.
Sometimes it is true. Sometimes it is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So, and that's why the terminology kind of gets changed up. Now that we're talking about it, that could have definitely been the sting.
So let's look at her services real quick, and we'll be able to determine that.
Oh, we're gonna look at prices. Yeah, let's do it.
Prices. Let's do it. Okay, $160 for a half an hour.
For a half an hour.
$200 though for an hour. So I see what she's doing.
She wants for the.
She's selling the hour.
Right.
She wants the hour.
Right.
But if you've only got so much, you see what I'm saying?
She's gonna make it work.
Right. It's tricky what she's doing because it's only a $40 difference.
Right.
Okay.
And what's the next line?
GFE. Explain that.
That's girlfriend experience.
Very good.
Yeah. So girlfriend.
See the terminology?
So girlfriend experience is basically she's your girlfriend for this hour.
Yep.
You can make her paint the walls. You can make her vacuum the floor.
Oh, stop it. See, she's so vanilla. I love you so much. Okay, so the girlfriend experience, instead of just being a clock watcher and looking at the wall and a mirror as business is being done, she's actually going to cuddle with you. And
she's going to give you the things that,
a girlfriend would do during the process of her show, depending on where she's going in that show with you.
Right. Okay? And it is not your typical body rub. This is full on.
But this kind of money? No, she's naked and she's laying up on you.
Yeah. This is.
Now I'm not sure. Now here's the thing. She does say $300, which includes Nuru, which we've already talked about, and BJ. Do you know what that is?
No, I do not. Okay. What is BJ?
That one is bareback blowjob.
Wow.
Okay, without the condom. Okay.
Wow.
So this includes Nuru with it's the terminology, man.
Oh, so bold.
Yeah,
bold.
Here's the thing. When it comes to law enforcement, because I'm sure that's going to be a question too. Don't the cops see this? You can advertise anything you want as long as you're not selling it.
Right.
You know, if you get caught selling it,
right. You can write whatever you want up on this page, and as long as you don't get to the point where money exchanges hands, she can post whatever she wants.
And that made it very difficult for the strippers and the escorts to differentiate themselves.
It made it so hard for our business because we were running up to girls who were willing to do this experience.
Yep. You used to piss me off, man.
For almost what we were charging for just straight up.
The lines became fucking blurred.
Dancing.
Yep.
It was terrible for us.
Yep, and that was a very, very hard time in the business. So that's what I mean by terminology, because that's one of the small things in the industry that pissed me off. I think a number of people need to understand, you know, if they understood a lot more. Just like you understand what the doctor goes through in his day or the garbage man goes through his day. If you walk a couple miles in a man's shoes, you're going to understand the subtleties, the differences, even in an industry as seedy as striptease.
Yeah. I mean, and us, we were that nice.
We were easygoing.
We were easygoing. We were fun. Everybody liked us.
Yeah.
We were the company that you called when it was just a fluff piece.
We were the good guys.
We were the good guys.
We really were. But that's one of the things that used to irritate me, is that we would have to deal with competitors or. We were just talking about independence. Mm-hmm. Independence can do a lot more than agency-driven girls because they've got nobody watching them and going,
there's also no safety.
Yeah.
There's no safety. It's like when we talked about the horror episode.
Mm-hmm.
She had no safety.
Right.
She was the owner of the business.
Yep.
And she still didn't have any safety
right.
because she decided to be an independent girl and do things on her own. Not a problem.
Yeah. Make your money,
Make your money.
But
if you get a customer that, like the one girl says that she doesn't want AA men visiting her.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes
An agency is going to say, you're not going to jeopardize my company with discrimination.
Right.
Fuck that.
There's going to be rules and regulations.
You get naked for everybody, baby.
We're here to make money.
Right. That's our job.
Yes.
See what I'm saying?
So there's tons of things that go on with an agency that a girl that doesn't have one, she doesn't have any, it's all risk, all reward.
Yeah.
If she goes to jail because she was doing something shady on the back page and they caught her, that's her. Mm-hmm. She going down.
So let me ask you this: what in all of this? Okay,
yes.
And I'm talking about the extreme. You know, even and we've shared a lot of stuff over the past year and a half. Give me a good thing that pisses you off about the industry.
I think it's normal people with their preconceived notions of us. I think that really when people really get down to it and they just disregard us as human beings because we may have done something in our past, or we are doing something in our past, and they go, oh no, that person is just, they just write us off. That's one of my biggest pet peeves.
Okay.
That you're not willing to hear somebody else's side of the story.
Yeah. And especially if it's let's just say you have a stripper in the family and you just found out, you know, and you're a normie and you have no idea about the industry. What the fuck is my son or daughter doing? You have no idea yet, you know, and so you sit down with that person you don't know, you know, because this industry can go from ballet type stripping to fucking on stage, you know. So what is he or she doing, you know? And usually you can find that out through the terminology that they use. Here's a pet peeve that I have about the industry is customers that come in that are not interested in you, but they still either sit at your stage or
waste your time.
You're in your area where it's like, I could have that area set by someone else that's paying me.
Or one of my pet peeves is, if you'll give me a lap dance today, I can pay you on a Friday.
Do you get those?
I don't do those, but yeah.
Why would you? What?
I don't even entertain them. As soon as I hear it come out of their mouth, is that I just started a job, and they'll give you the sob story, just like a dancer will. A customer will give me the sob story.
I'll pay you on Tuesday for a lap dance today.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out, dude.
That is such a pet peeve.
Wow.
Such a pet peeve. Also, a guy that's not willing to tip, but he's willing to buy drinks, and you're not drinking in the club.
Yes.
Yes. Because some of us don't drink in the club.
Yeah.
Some of us, we're drinking water, we're drinking energy drinks, we're drinking soda. And some of us don't want to drink and put ourselves into a position where we have to drink and drive.
Yeah.
A lot of us are
You're right.
are well respected in what we do, and we don't.
A lot of y'all are more responsible than some of us.
Some of us. Yeah. And then there's some of us that while out and they just take it to extremes. It all depends on the dancer. Just like the terminology, we don't really, not everything's the same in every single club. But I appreciate customers that buy me drinks, but I don't want to.
But I'd rather have you in
drinks.
Thank you.
Yeah,
because the club can buy me drinks.
There's no shortage of drinks in the club ever for an entertainer.
Have I ever told you I don't get on stage without my first drink?
Yes.
I told you that, right?
Yes. You're a prima donna.
I've never done it once.
Yeah. You're
up on stage next. No, I'm not. You better send homie up there and finish my Long Island iced tea.
Yeah.
Another thing that pisses me off about customers, let me finish off what you were just saying about people that don't tip. I usually give you 10 Mississippis. That's always been kind of my rule. If you're within my vicinity and I'm trying to dance around you and you're not paying attention, you haven't reached into your pocket within 10 Mississippis, I can't bounce.
Yeah.
You're not worthy of my time.
There's always another pole. There's always another space to dance into. There's always another person to talk to, unless it's snowing outside and there's nobody in the club. There's always something else. As long as you're trying and you're talking to people and you're actually giving an effort to the person who you did make an effort to
yeah,
talk to the guy.
I gave you a chance.
Yeah, I gave you a chance,
Yeah.
and you decide that you're not going to tip at all. Well, and for me,
those guys ever come back later and show interest in you later?
No. They move on to the next stripper because that's what they do. They're just a leech at that point. And after the fourth girl that they've talked to, usually the first 2 or 3 start talking to each other, and then everybody else in the club, because it just kind of goes off.
Okay.
One of my pet peeves, we've talked about this on the show before, is dancers sitting at the stage, but they won't help you make money.
Oh, that's irritating as fuck.
You talked about about going to the club with a customer, and it was supposed to be about you. It wasn't supposed to be about the other person that your customer brought. And so when I get dancing on a stage, I don't mind if a girl is sitting with a customer.
Right.
That's fine.
But she should be pitching some money up towards you if she's at your stage.
She should be helping me make money off of the guy. If she's going to sit there, or if you don't like me, and you're going to be rude, fine, whatever, it happens. Just get him up, take him away from my stage before the music starts. But if he is there at my stage,
right,
and I am dancing for him, you are not allowed to steal him off of my stage.
Okay.
I am very territorial. not because of anything, but it's rude to just come up and bogart and take away. At least have him tip me a couple of bucks before you leave.
Yeah, totally.
Show me some love, because eventually I'm going to be the girl sitting there with the customer.
You ladies
and not
are so catty, man.
They're so mean, so mean.
We don't do that.
That's because you're not there for 8 hours a day.
Right.
7 hours a day.
Right. No, you're right.
2 song sets every hour on the hour.
Pet peeve. When the boss comes into a dressing room to say, get your ass out there, even though there's no one in the club. Why am I even here?
Because you should still be there, out there in the club, so in case somebody does walk in the door. Because if you're out there on tour,
you should run your own. You should be the team leader. Yay, you're a great No, Pixie, there's no. Why don't you leave me alone until people start walking in here?
You're the stripper that sits in the back, plays on his phone, and complains about everything.
There's no one here.
Yeah.
I'm a prima donna, dude.
I know.
Come out when I fucking feel like it. This isn't a real job.
Jay, I'm not pretty. I'm funny, okay? And I have to be where there are people, and people have to see me to know that I'm there. That's how I make money. No. It's because I'm a pounce first kind of person. I just gotta know. I gotta let the customer get his drink. I gotta let him wander around the bar, and then as soon as he sits down, boom, I'm on him like a jaguar.
I am so that I could not give a shit kind of stripper. Man, hey, I'm doing the job. Pay me. And if you're cool, I'll hang out with you for a little while. Man. Especially if you've got good pot.
Oh. I just like the money, and I'll even go with a customer out to smoking. One of my pet peeves is I don't like it when customers or other strippers blow smoke on me.
Yeah,
that's one of those pet peeves.
Not when you're at work, dude, because you stink.
Not everybody smokes.
Yeah,
and I don't want to smell like cigarettes.
They smell it,
and I've seen it before. Girls will do that. Like, they'll just be sitting there talking, and then big puff of smoke. And
you know what gets in your skin?
It's gross. It's gross.
And I'm a smoker, yo.
It gets everywhere.
Yeah. Well, not as well as allegedly I smoke weed, but you know what? You see what I'm saying? And I think things have changed now. We don't have smoking in the bars now, but there was a time.
But now there's pot. People smoke at the bar, but they don't smoke in the bar.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's more open with the pot now.
Pet peeve for me when it comes to the industry is finding T-bars within the mainstream. Finding outfits that actually fit. I don't know why the fuck they make these small-ass I'm not kidding, okay? Frederick's a Hollywood. The gay shops off of Broadway. Everywhere you go, you find these little pouches and these T-bars, dude. I can't fit in that. No, seriously. I'm really not trying to
so that was
play with y'all. Really.
When we get into the next episode where we talk about wardrobe, that's going to be one of those things. Because so stripper thongs started out a one way.
Yeah.
And then progressively they got smaller
and smaller
and
for more money.
Yeah, exactly. Or for the same amount of money.
Right.
And
assholes.
So one of those things was a micro thong. You can't wear that at the strip club.
I can't wear that.
There is no anonymity.
I might as well be naked.
Right. And that was one of the other things. We had to wear two. So
yeah.
And the pet peeve when you're mandatory wearing two, and you got a girl who's only wearing one, and it's the micro thong, and she's showing everything for her dollar.
Can't compete with that.
I can't compete with that. Nope. There's no level of entertainment that can compete with.
We need to keep that shit balanced. If you're more talented than I am, I get that. If you work out more than I get it. If you're even more naturally blessed than I am, I get that.
But if you're showing
cheating,
the goods?
Yeah. The rules of this, we're all supposed to play the game the same way.
Right.
And if you're stepping outside of that's cheating. And that's not cool. So I get that.
Yeah. Totally pet peeves. Oh, let's see. I know that there's so many pet peeves.
Yeah.
Picking up dollar bills and them having drugs inside the dollar bill. That pissed me off because I don't want to handle a dollar that has drugs in it. I don't. Because, like, let's say it's Coke. Yeah. I don't want that on my skin, and I don't want the transfer that happens.
Yeah, I get it, but you have to keep in mind that you're speaking to another stripper. We pick up dollar bills with our asses. Some girls pick it up with their pussy. I bite into dollar bills.
I've bitten dollar bills. I just
know where those dollars
I just don't want drugs in my dollar.
Every dollar is a dollar that potentially had drugs on it. If you really think about it, you know what I mean? I mean,
true.
Come on, man. And the difference between my dollars and your dollars is that my dollars are always oily.
Ooh, that would be a pet peeve.
I know it's a pet peeve for the lady at the bank or at the local supermarket after work.
And I'm
machine
and it's all like,
here's some money, and it's all oily.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that
I'm
would
sure
be
they hated that.
Ooh, that would be a terrible pet peeve. Oh, another pet peeve when we were doing bachelor parties was when customers would get a hold of the whipped cream.
Yeah, okay.
And then customers don't know what a dollop is because you say put a dollop on
a little bit of whipped cream.
It should be like just a little, just a dollop,
Whoop.
Just a small bit. But they go. They go like they're just everywhere because they think
what's wrong with you?
Because they think it's funny. It's not funny because they have to clean up after that mess.
Yeah,
and then
they put it on themselves.
Yeah,
they put it on the bachelor. They put it on the girl.
It messes up the carpet.
God,
it gets into girls' hair. Yeah. And if you're renting a house and you're doing a bachelor party at somebody else's house, and the strippers come through and somebody grabs the whipped cream. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. That's the point of contact's problem.
I get a final pet peeve. All right. If you are booking through a private party agency and you've already made the commitment to a handshake deal that you're going to commit to them, don't cancel at the last moment and then let the manager or the owner find out that you went with another service and your experience was absolutely horrible and you should have went with us in our first goddamn place. You know I'm talking to, goddamn it. No, we lost a private party once behind that, and it turns out the girls are extremely unprofessional and cost these guys money by puking in the limo that they rented. You know how all that
you puke in a limo as a stripper?
Yeah,
that's it. They're gonna remember your fucking name.
Oh, totally.
Because limousine companies in Denver are very selective of who they let ride in there.
They charge you, I think, $150 cleanup fee if you vomit in one of their limos.
Don't be trashy like that. Yeah.
Losing money on that when they should have went with a reputable company anyway.
Yeah, anyway.
But yeah, pet peeve, that's one of my little pet peeves,
Yeah.
in interactions between strippers or agencies, adult industry, and the normies. I'm hoping that you guys got something out of this. Hey, this is here to teach you new shit. Is it important?
Probably not, but we have fun with it.
I had a good time. It was fun, right?
Right. We have a friend, a longtime listener, Wesley, who you know, dear.
What's up, Wesley? What's up, man?
He would like to come on the show.
Really?
Yeah, he said so on our YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a YouTube channel, and we
believe it or not, and I look good.
I'm working on it. But Wesley said, I would love to come in as a customer here on the podcast.
Okay.
So I told him to reach out to you, and we're going to try and make that happen.
Okay, another man on the street?
Probably not man on the street, but we were talking about doing some club reviews. So we're probably going to do some club reviews and see how that goes. And maybe we'll invite him along with us.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, season 3, down and dirty.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting down and dirty. We're talking about all kinds of shit. So, Pixie and I have talked about going to some of the local nightclubs. I am thinking about, and I will shoot this past you, while we're in these nightclubs, rating the top 10 lap dances in Denver. I'm taking
You're going to get lap dance from
every club. I'm going to pick one girl and I'm going to say, represent your club. Let me know what you can do, and I'll rate that shit.
Okay.
That's an idea that I'm thinking about.
It's interesting. You might have to do 2 lap dances per club.
You may.
If you're going to try and get 10.
Ooh.
I don't know if are you?
I will put in the work for you.
Are you up for this challenge?
I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll do it.
Get a lap dance
for you.
Yeah.
Yes, from Denver's finest.
So when you do it, I don't want you just to do like the girl you find pretty. I think one of the lap dances should be your choice.
Okay.
And the other lap dance should be my choice.
Okay.
That way you can see how when I watch dancers dance.
All right, what you're looking for?
What I'm looking for.
Okay.
And basically sometimes I can tell when a dancer's a good dancer and if her lap dances are going to be any good or if they're going to be shit.
Okay.
I know those things.
Yeah, I'm looking for Denver's naughtiest, me personally. But
okay,
I'll go with what she said.
You'll go Denver's naughtiest, and I'll just go with like the best lap dance in Denver.
So that's going to be a lot of fun. Next week we are doing. Okay. I don't want to talk about it yet, but we're going to talk about it on Twitter and Instagram, where you can find us on Facebook. What we're getting ready to do, it's going to be a lot of fun real soon, but Pixie wants to keep it secret because we may or may not have interviews coming up.
The only problem is we've got girls that we're talking to. We've got a lot of strippers that I want to bring in because they have such good stories. But strippers are like cats on asses. Cats on acid. Oh, it's terrible.
That's a t-shirt.
It is a t-shirt. I can tell you that the last 2 weeks I've talked to 4 dancers and they've had scheduling issues.
Okay.
So we're still trying to work on that. We're looking for Misty Hayes as well. We're working for a couple of
anyone in the Denver metro area knows Misty Hayes, you know who I'm talking about. Tell her
What?
Tell her an old friend is looking for her, and we used to know each other from the Rocky Mountain Oyster.
Yep. And we're going to put that word out again. If you know a dancer, an entertainer, male or female, we want, and they live here in the Denver metro area.
And they want to come in here and shoot the shit and have a lot of fun with us?
Yeah, we want to have some fun things. We already had a costume lady on here before that was a stripper. Yep. So if there's somebody else who's
I'd love to get another costume person in here.
I would love to get a DJ. Yep. Somebody who's been a strip club DJ, not just any DJ.
Right.
It has to be specific.
And if you could possibly find one with a little bit of hair on his nuts, just a little bit.
Yeah,
okay?
a little older.
Just a little bit. I want a little bit of history on that. So I had a good time today. Did you have fun?
Fantastic time. Thank you, Jay, for, entertaining us on this idea of, what the terminology means.
Okay, I'm glad that you had fun. I'm hoping they had fun. And we're gonna do this again because there's so many different words, man. We just touched on the surface. We didn't even talk about BDSM and we need to have a bondage episode.
We should find us a bondage girl.
Ooh. A dominatrix.
Oh, that would be lovely.
That would be fun.
That would be lovely. Yeah.
All right. So let me apologize, everybody. You haven't seen me up on Twitter or Instagram. I am in the very, 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 very busy season at my job.
Yes.
Hey, I got to pay the bills until I die. So unfortunately I'm busy right now, but I will get back on the top of the game very, very soon. Until then, you can always follow me at Twitter as Mr J, next on stage 1. Instagram, the same thing. And
the Facebook page.
Yep.
You run the Facebook page. I
do.
Don't. I post on the Facebook page, but I don't run it.
I'm so glad you've been handling the memes lately. So we do funny memes on the Facebook page. Just look up next on stage 1. Analytics are looking good. We see you guys outside the United States. Thanks for hanging with us. Remember that we are on YouTube.
Yes. We're also on Instagram and my personal favorite, the Twitters. You can find me and talk to me on Twitter, which is Next on Stage, but it's Pixie at Next on Stage 1.
Fucking right on, man.
Thank you, guys. This has been a great time. What do you think, Jay?
I had fun.
Well, thank you guys for joining us here next on Stage 1. My name is Pixie.
And I'm Mr. J.
And we hope to see you next on Stage 1.
Talk hard, Denver.
Bye, guys. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. We've got a lot of things coming for you.
Next on stage 1.
Bye, guys.
Talk hard, Denver.